So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cardano Community Podcast. I hope everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, just give a shout. Let me know that you can hear me, please. Just wait a few seconds, for some others to join. Hey Theo, hey, thanks for joining, man. I can see that you're waiting, so thanks for that. Thanks for joining in. Let's see if there's any people otherwise joining. Hi, Theo. Thanks, man. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Hey, boss. Thank you for joining as well. I'm really looking forward to this evening. Yeah, there's a few things that I wanted to discuss, and first of all is kind of a message for newcomers. By the way, you'll notice that I have a different background. I'm just kind of like experimenting with different backgrounds and stuff. So don't get distracted by the moving space picture stuff. But basically the story behind of it is that Ada is going places. So we're reaching for the stars. Anyhow, um welcome everyone for joining, and thank you for joining. I just wanted, for newcomers, so if you're just joining and you're new to Cardano, um, you know, we noticed that the recent, let's say, increase in price, over the whole crypto market, basically, what you'll notice is that there'll be a lot more people joining the space. There'll be a lot more people, newcomers, new names. You wouldn't see them, but you haven't seen before. So I just want to encourage you to, get in contact with people who's been here for a longer while. You have the Cardano Foundation. They have community managers. If you have questions, reach out to them. The Cardano Foundation also have ambassadors. You can also reach out to any ambassador and ask them questions, about anything you like, any concerns, or just for, just simple chat. I definitely would like to, uh, thank you, there, thank you, boss. I definitely would like to encourage you, to take that time out. And the reason why is because as we see ADA appreciates in price and become more and more, let's say, a well-known cryptocurrency and blockchain, we notice that there's a lot of scams. There's an increase in scams and people trying to basically steal your ADA or lure you in to clicking on fake sites or fake links. And by that, kind of like whatever they do. But please be vigilant, and make sure that whatever website you're visiting, check to see if the spelling is correct. Or if you have any doubt, reach out to someone from the community. It could be an ambassador or someone of the community managers, uh, just to help you or verify that. Now, that being said, welcome to the community, and I hope you find your stay pleasant. A few points that I wanted to discuss. So, first of all, I wanted to touch on the ambassador program as very shortly. I wanted to touch also on the recent update from Input Output IOG about their delegation strategy. So basically what happened is, IOG had 20 pools, right? And they are retiring 19 of those pools, and only one they will keep, and that will be a private pools. Now the remaining 8 that they have, that will be delegated to community pools. Now they have a whole written blog where they explain how they're going to work on that. So I definitely want to touch on that. That's going to be very interesting. And another point that I wanted to touch on is maybe skin in the game. What is really skin in the game? Because I know that um, there's a lot of chat, in the beginning of Shelly, where you see a lot of operators say, I have skin in the game. I have 100 made it, 1 million ADA that I pledge. And they kind of feel, they're putting in skin in their game. So what is actually skin in the game? So that's something that I definitely wanted to touch on. And lastly, there's a message for charity pools. So let's start out the ambassador program. So one of the things that I noticed is that, with the ambassadors, we're all passionate about Cardano. We love what we do. We love engaging with the community, and that's perfect. That's good. You know, there's numerous, let's say, different type of ambassador roles that you can fulfill. You know, from content creators, you can be a moderator, you can be a translator. You know, and that's good. So, however, if you would like to join our ranks as an ambassador, please do. There's a special form that you can fill out that you can nominate yourself or someone else, becoming an ambassador. Ambassadors, we don't really have any privileges, other than, people recognize who we are, we engage more better with the community, etc. But there's not really any privileges beyond any other, person, besides that we have direct access to the Cardano Foundation and some information. That said, I do want to encourage you, if you'd like to become an ambassador, do so. you know Ambassador also have a role in terms of, let's say, respecting the rules. You can expect from an ambassador, to really show some sort of, let's say, example, to be an example. So if there's rules set in place, you can expect of an ambassador to really respect those rules. Because the thing is, if the very ambassador cannot respect the rules, then what's the purpose of actually being an ambassador? So that's something that I definitely want to mention. Okay, so the other point that I want to go on to, that's the input output. They came out with a new blog. Let me see if I can put it up on my screen. Hold on a second. Here it is. So they came out with a new blog about the delegating with fresh purpose. So not a while ago, they promised, that they would retire the majority of their pools. So they had 20 pools, and they promised, to retire 19 of those pools. Now the community, never seen anything of this, and it was said, yeah, there was a lot of criticism saying, hey, when are they going to do this, etc. So here it is. This is the announcement, official announcement, and there's a whole story. So I definitely would like to encourage you, to read through this document. But there's one thing in here that I find is very interesting. And that's because it has to do with the, let's say, the purpose pools. Now, let me see. Perhaps this might be the best view, not the best view. One moment. Here, exactly. So, as they mention here, um, let's see here. Our primary objective here is to delegate to pools that we feel support our wider purpose and mission of economic inclusion, decentralization of sustainable technology, empowerment through education, and opening up economic identity for all. These purpose pools might include operations hosted in developing countries where blockchain can make a massive impact, or operations focused on supporting educational objectives. Purpose pools might also include run on a charitable or philanthropic basis, pools supporting underserved or minority members of the community, pools committed to the use of sustainable energy, and so on. So I just wanted to touch on the part where it says here the charity pools. You know, the thing is, charity pools are important. We do need developers. We do need pools that really focus, on incubation of, let's say technological hubs or whatever. We do need those, right? Because when you're building a blockchain, you really need to make sure that there's a solid foundation, right? Because if you only have a blockchain that exists solely out of charity pools, then you're not going to get anywhere, because there's no one basically building upon your platform. So we do need people, to make sure that there's a foundation being built, that there's applications being built on the blockchain, for others to use. But we have to understand, right, that not every single person on the planet will be using the blockchain, right? There's also people, that just don't have, let's say, the means, to maybe to get themselves a cell phone, or have the means, to buy a computer, right? Those are the absolute poor. And the thing is, right, we're not only focusing on people, but you also have charity pools that, I mean, there's even a pool, I believe, that does stuff for koala bears, or kiwis, kangaroos, and stuff. Very good. We need those pools as well. But what I'm trying to get at is we need pools as well that shows, that the potential for block the that we're able not only to distribute, or let's say create, applications for people to use and give them financial identity, but we also need those stake pools to show, wow, we have this opportunity whereby we can generate wealth, and we can actually share that wealth with the people who has nothing. Those people will never be, users of the blockchain, but at least we can use that what the blockchain generates to help them. And I think that's what it meant when it say for all. At least that's what I'm hoping. When they say here, economic identity for all, I hope that they also include the absolute poor, and not only people, who's going to be users of the system. So I do want to encourage, if you are running a charity pool, make sure that your website is up to date. Make sure that you're letting people know who you are and what you stand for. Make sure you're letting people know, hey, what steps are you taking, to really, um, respect your pledge, your charity pledge. I think that's very important, because there will come a point, perhaps, when IOG will have to go through a list of, let's say, charity pools, and see, okay, which one of those pools are actually living up to what they've promised, to their pledge. So I definitely want to have. That's a wrong example. Okay, sorry about that there. So Ty, you says here, that's a very wrong example. So explain me, what do you mean exactly with that's a wrong example? We do need charity pools, definitely. Charity pools, what we do basically, or what charity pools does, let me see if I can, here's the camera. We help people also to get, to move forward. I mean, there's also poor people in the world that doesn't have anything. If you can help, let's say, um, finance a bag of grain, flour for them, that's also good. You know what I mean? That's so those are things we cannot turn our face, we cannot turn our heads and ignore the reality of poor people. That's not something that we want to do. That's not something that you or I would should be doing, actually. But anyhow, if you're able to explain me what you mean that that's a wrong example, let me know, please. Uh, let's see. Another point that I wanted to discuss also is, skin in the game. Okay, hold on a second there. Okay, hold on here. So he says here, Koala, they only give 10% of the profit to the charity. Okay. You know, what to you is a reasonable percentage? If that's the amount that they've pledged, to give, then that's okay. That's the amount that they pledge. As long as they, do something with it, they can prove that they're actually living up to what they've promised. And I think that's okay. You can't force them to give 80%. You can't force them to give 40% or 50%. That's something that they're giving something from what they own. And I think that's okay. And what I'd love to see actually is to see more and more people actually joining. Maybe someone who's willing to partner with them. That would be nice. Definitely. So yeah, I remember charity pools, a lot of them are very small. They're not really large pools, so they definitely need support, and I think that's something also to be considered. Okay. So the following point that I wanted to touch on is the skin in the game. Um Skin in the game, what is that? Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, if you have, let's say, a million, if you have a million ADA, pledged, you are putting skin in the game. A lot of people boast about that. If you hold on a second, so if you say you are, hold on, if you say you're a charity pool, then I expect at least 50% will go to charity. Okay. Hey, yeah, why not? There will be. I'm pretty sure that there will be others who say, we'll give 50% or we'll give 30% or 20%. Again, that's up to the pool operators themselves, to determine or decide, how much they want to, pledge to charity. And I think one thing we do have to realize is that as as ADA appreciates in value, you'll be able to do much more with little. Whereby at this point, ADA is not really. I mean, we've seen a massive increase of value, but it's still not, to a level where you can say, "Wow, I can use," as an example, I can use 1,000 ADA and try and do that with it. It's I think the impact or what the impact of 1,000 ADA now or 1,000 ADA in a year from now might be, much greater. Yeah, of course. That's I understand. Just one example you're giving, but that's good. That's definitely good. Again, that's really up to the operator. But the thing is, as long as the operator lives up to their pledge, and they're showing that they're actually doing something, that's it. Um, so back to skin of the game. You can have a million ADA. You can pledge a million ADA, and you can say, listen, because I have a million ADA pledged in my pool, I can tell a lot of delegators, listen, we have skin in the game, right? But what we see happening, basically, we have several operators who have large purses. They say, listen, um, I have, let's say, I have a total of 7 million, right? And those 7 million, I've decided actually to split them in five different pools, or six or seven different pools, however that may be. The question is, um, who is actually having skin in the game? I've listened to one of the one operator say that someone with 50,000 ADA, a 50 to 100 out, 50 to 100,000 ADA pledge, those are considered hobbyists. Honestly speaking, I find that very disrespectful to say. How can you say that someone with 50,000 ADA pledge or 50 to 100,000 ADA pledge is is a hobbyist? That's not true. What if that's the only amount of ADA they have? That's everything they have, and they've decided to only put that in one pool. For me, that's skin in the game. That's skin in the game. Because they've actually used their whole pledge and put that in that pool. And then to say to a whole public, wait a second, I have six pools or however amount. Um, I have actually pledged skin in the game. I don't think that it works that way. But the thing is, people tend, to lean towards, let's say, influencers. Whatever they say must be true. But you have to really look at it, um, from a case to case, from look at it on a case to case basis. Not every stake pool operator, will have a million or five, to pledge or to split their pools. No, no, no. You know, that's just not the case. So I believe personally, you cannot say that people with 50,000 pledge, ADA pledge, those are hobbyists. We have a lot of people within the Cardano as stake pool operators, and all of them, actually are professional businesses, small businesses. They're trying to run a professional small business, and not all of them have the ability, to pledge a million or more. But to say that they're hobbyists, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Hey, Theo, what's up? Someone made me aware about something very scary about pledge. Everybody can see it. So, can you paint what? So you are painting yourself as a nice target. You know what? I don't mind. I honestly speaking, people will always have an opinion, um about people with low pledge, people with high pledge, and yeah, that's just the way it is. It's and also have opinion with people with millions of pledge. Um, the thing is, I oppose of anyone saying of another that they are hobbyists just because they're not able, to they don't have as much pledge as the other person, and I find that very disrespectful, and we've seen that many times happening. I don't even feel, that someone, um, should be judged based on the amount of pledge that they have. But yeah, that's not for me to decide, of course. For that's for everyone. Anyhow, um, those are just a few points that I wanted to address tonight. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here willing to help you, answer your questions if I can, of course. And if not, then I'll just reach out to my community and ask if I can just place those questions there, get those answers to you at a later date. Anyhow, let's see any questions. Okay, nope. All right. So guys, these were the points that I wanted to address, just to just to summarize. If you're new to the if you're new to the Cardano ecosystem, please be vigilant, because there's a lot of scammers, currently active within the community, trying to scam you out of your ADA. So make sure that if you're visiting any website, check to see if it's actually from the official source. If you have any doubts, please check with either someone from the Cardano Foundation or an ambassador. Ask questions and just be vigilant. Okay, let's see here. So Theo, I agree on the amounts with you. 10K is very high amount if you have a stake pool in Africa. Yes, that's it. You really have to look at it from a case to case basis. But yeah, as I mentioned, there are people in the community. There are stake pool operators telling their communities that, hey, these are hobbyists, and you shouldn't be taking that serious and not professional. So I oppose of that. I oppose of that. And yeah, but again, it's common sense. It's common sense. Everyone understands that if you do not, if someone pledges all that he has, and that's the whole point, of that blog post that IOG, I think they brought out about a week and a half ago. So, hey, be very wary of stake pool operators who split their pools. I mean, it's best to have a stake pool operator who actually put skin in the game by putting their pledge into one pool instead of splitting that. That's what they call high leverage. It's according to them, it's not beneficial to the blockchain, and it's not really this helping decentralize the ecosystem as well, the network. But yeah, anyhow, that's a discussion for another time. Um, we also touched earlier on the ambassador program. If you would like to be, if you're new to the Cardano ecosystem, you have certain talents. Like if you're very, you'd like to be a moderator, if you'd like to be a translator, if you'd like to be a content creator, get in contact with someone, from the community. It could be an ambassador, or it could be a community manager. Ask questions. Ask them how you can apply, and we'd love to see you join our ranks as well. We also touched on the IOG pools that they're retiring. They also have a strategy um, for delegating their ADA to specific pools that they figure, hey, wow, these are pools that are actually contributing to the same ethos, basically, and goal and mission of Cardano. That is economic inclusion for all, for everyone, and that may include, let's say, yeah, that may include charity pools. It may include whatever pools that let's say, trying to support minorities in the community, or just you're also eligible. So basically, if you're running one of those kind of pools, you're eligible to be to receive stake from the from IOG. And yeah, I think, and lastly, we just touched on the skin in the game topic, and I think we spent quite some time on that. I do believe that we cannot say because someone has a million or more stake means that they have more skin in the game. And I think that Theo, you said it right, because um, yeah, someone as an example, in a, let's say, developing world who does not have, that much funds, but decides to pledge their full amount, the amount that they have, that should be considered someone who actually is putting skin in the game. And so you cannot judge, someone based on the high amount that they've pledged. Anyhow, and that's just a totally different, discussion, because I know there's a lot of larger pool operators who are lobbying for the increase of the um, uh, a not, and I don't, yeah, I disagree with it, because the thing is, if you do that, that's going to hurt a lot of people, especially people who do not have the um, larger purses. And basically, what's going to happen is you'll see either stake pool operators would have to start working together, which is perhaps less likely, to happen. But and if that doesn't happen, then a lot of the smaller stake pools will just have to stop their business. And but yeah, there's, let's say, some, it will be in the favor of some, and it will be in the favor of and not be in the favor of others, the increase. But yeah, that's something that will work out over time. And now, thank you all for joining. As always, I try to keep these very short. I've been asked, to keep them under a half an hour, so I try to do that. I'll try to do this next time, perhaps in Dutch. So hopefully you join then. And thank you for joining today. Take care.